One of the notable things Formula E, aside from the odd whistle, is just how quiet it is here. We're in a very nice park in Battersea, which itself is a lovely place to be because of the number of trees and the bird song that you get. But you wouldn't believe for the minute that I'm actually on the grid as the cars are assembling alongside me. As Stefan Sarazan trundles by in his electric car. I don't think I've ever been, in fact I'm certain I have never been on a grid assembly as quiet as this one. Here comes Alex Fontana taking up his position. Salvador Duran in his Amlin Aguri car and Nicolas Prost trundle by. You've really got to have your wits about you and listen carefully, because usually you get the sound of a internal combustion engine making enough noise to tell you there's a car coming behind you. So rather like someone who's been chased by the cops, I'm walking down the pit lane with one eye over my shoulder to make sure I don't get mown down or scooped up by an aerodynamic front wing. Had an interesting chat with the marshals earlier on. These guys do great work. They were telling me about the special training that they had to have for this race, because these cars present a safety issue in terms of electric shock. It's very easy to get a blast in these cars, so they have green lights on them, which means that they're safe. If you've got a blue light or a red light, you don't go anywhere near it. 800 volts apparently, but it's not the voltage that kills you, it's the amperage. Trying to steer my way around a very busy grid. Very pleased to see that it's so well supported here. Let's make our way to the front of the grid and find someone significant to talk to. Let's see. Alejandro Agag, the organiser of this series, seems to have every member of his family here on the grid who all want selfies with him. That poor man, he must be exhausted. I wonder if I can get a word with him. I wonder. Unlikely. He's more sought after than an extra battery charger at a Formula E race. Really. That poor guy. If I can get close to him, I'll have a word. Signor Agag, one moment.
Yeah, 1 second.
How are you?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
well
much.
done on bringing a whole field of electric race cars to Battersea. Now, you must be close to exhaustion.
No, it hasn't been that bad. It's been a good year long, but we're really happy how the season has gone, so very happy.
What's been the most difficult part of bringing this to fruition so
really
far?
Build the racetracks in the cities is always tricky, so we're very happy that we could do this, and especially this one in the centre of London has been a challenge, but we're here and it's very good.
And how's the future looking? Because electric cars is all about the future, isn't it?
We want to bring electric cars to the mainstream, so that's what we wish. More manufacturers, better technology for electric cars around the world.
Gracias. Thank you very much indeed. Adios. There you go. Right, let's find a driver. Bruno Senna, last time we spoke you were in GP2. Hello again.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, how does this compare to the other race series that you've raced in? Is it as competitive? Is it more competitive because the equipment's exactly the same?
Well, it's safe to say that Formula E is as competitive as it gets. The quality of the drivers in the championship is very high. The quality of the teams is very high as well. So, yeah, we've got our work cut out for us, and we have to really make sure that we do our best to get the results. So, yeah, very tricky series.
What does it take to do well? What do you need to do well in Formula E?
Well, you need a whole structure around yourself. You need a good team that works well together. You need some luck on your side as well. These street circuits, they don't forgive any mishaps or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, yeah, it's a good combination of motor racing that's a bit more intense perhaps in Formula E.
And how difficult is this circuit with a crown in the middle of the track? That makes it impossible, doesn't it?
Very tough. You end up having to raise the right height to abnormal levels, you're bottoming out, so your wheels are not much on the ground. So these things make it a big challenge. We are always just over the limit of the car, and you have the walls very near, so we saw very many victims today. I was one of them. I touched the wall, but not much damage to my car, so yeah, we just need a good race today, and then we can finish the season on a good note.
You've raced at Monaco. If you can race at Monaco, you can race here.
I won in Monaco.
I know.
And this year was looking good for us, but we got a bit of luck, so let's hope that the luck continues with us today.
Great to talk to you again. Good luck. Another lovely voice. I think I've said that before, that you'd want Bruno to read you, I don't know, the weather, anything, the phone directory. It would sound wonderful, wouldn't it, with that lovely tone of his voice. Here's an interesting sound for you. That's a fan pumping as much cool air as it can into the radiators of these cars, because whilst there's no hot water to cool an engine, there's lots of heat stored in the batteries and indeed the motor at the moment, and they've got to be cool. We don't want them overheating, because as the battery's temperature raises, down the performance of the battery goes. So keeping it cool keeps your car hot. Nicolas Prost, the pressure's off. Congratulations as champions. Well done, that's some achievement. How difficult is it to make your mark in this race series?
It's very difficult. The level is very high and you need a bit of fortune. For me, the beginning of the season was really good, and a bit more problems, not so much luck in the last few races, but I would like to finish in style, but unfortunately was not really in the good groups. Yesterday I was in Q1, which was not so good. This afternoon Q2, 4 was not good enough also, but it's racing. I just hope I can make a strong race and finish well.
What would you change about your approach to Formula E? Presumably not very much. Now that your team are champions, what would you change? What's the secret of success?
It's not so different, we were competitive all year long, my last few qualifyings have been less, and it was not bad, until today I never got out of 7th top position, but my last qualies were not as good, and obviously for me, not having raced monoseater for a long time, I had to get back a bit to running in groups, but I know for next year I can come back even stronger.
So which is the better racing for you, the WEC or this?
Formula E, definitely.
You're only saying that because you're here today, surely?
No, I really like these races. It's really nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
Bonne chance.
Thank you.
Au bientôt. Et merci. Nelson, 10 years ago when you and I were boys, you were driving an A1 GP and I was interviewing you for the World TV feed. Hello again. How are you?
How are you?
You enjoying this?
Well, yeah, of course. I enjoy racing and I enjoy challenges.
How does this compare in terms of a challenge? You've all got the same kit, you've all got the same decisions to make. How do you make a difference?
By being quicker.
And how do you achieve that?
All the cars are the same, and being more aggressive and being more on the limit and finding better setups, working better with the team. A bit of everything.
Is this more or less satisfying than the racing you've done in the States in the last few years?
I love any kind of racing. The more the challenge, the better it is.
Good to see you out there, man.
Thank you.
Take care.
Sorry, he has to get ready.
Well, I can see all around me now drivers putting on helmets and earplugs and people being ushered off the grid. So it's probably my cue to get out of the way before I'm mown down by 200 kilowatts of electric power and make my way to find Zog and Tycho and enjoy this race, which I will.
Formula E on Gareth Jones on speed.
Why is it that motorsport always requires frantic rushing around? Having been granted grid access and got a bunch of interviews for your delectation and pleasure, I am now desperately trying to get back to a position next to the circuit where I can catch the sound of the cars as they come past. One of the highlights of any motor race is the first lap, where you have all the competing entries sharing the same piece of track, making a lot of noise. Now, they don't make a lot of noise, these Formula E cars, but actually, having heard them on the circuit now, I think they make quite an interesting noise. Far more pleasant than they sounded on television, that whine that made my son and girlfriend complain. But on the track, it's quite intoxicating. So, as you can hear, I'm hoofing it through the gravel. Helicopters overhead. Oh, by the way, on the subject of helicopters, one of the concerns about having a motor race in the middle of London was that the sound of the cars was going to be unpleasant for local residents. Now, that's not a big problem when you're running electric cars, because they are practically silent, of course. But have the local residents counted on the fact that you have 3 or 4 helicopters with radio links and cameras tracking the cars as they go around this relatively tight, small circuit? So whilst the cars aren't a problem, the noise above is. I have to say, it's a very pleasant place to be. I don't know if you've ever been to Imola, where they used to have the San Marino Grand Prix. It's rather like being there. A lovely, verdant, green park with very pleasant smells, and not a bad place to be at all. Not a bad place to have a motor race. Everyone's very civilised. It's not packed to the gunnels here. So if I can get to a point of the track where I can see what's going on, I should be very pleased. Hang on, where are we? Gates 13 to 21, this way, good. Oh. Actually, Battersea Park seems to be a lot bigger than I remember it. Either that, or when I did used to come here, I was a much longer-legged man, because this is some distance. I hear cars going past. I hope that's not the race start. What time is it on my watch? 4:05. Yep. Missed the race start. Blast.
Gareth Jones on speed!
Okay, here's the sound of the cars on the scene.
Into turn 9, it's too late. Now the grassy. Really close run off the tail, second round. Through turn 13. And then we wrote yesterday, I think.
There it is, the sound of Formula E. That high-pitched whistle and whine and swoosh that seems more familiar to video gamers playing F-Zero or Wipeout perhaps than motor racing. And that sound largely drowned out by the helicopters above. And when was the last time I went to a motor race and had to whisper quietly so I didn't speak over the PA, huh? That's something. Muted response from the people in the stands here or watching the screens.
With Stefan Sarazan, so Sarazan, once more, the pressure is advantage, was almost half last time around.
Hey Tykes.
Hello.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The cars literally just appear out of nowhere. I mean, we've got a straight and we've got a decent view right down from the front. We see them turn the corner and you don't hear them till they're right up close, and then they vanish.
A series of surprises.
Yeah, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah. And the grid's all mixed up because it was wet during qualifying.
Yeah.
Some of the guys were normally at the back at the front.
Which is good and interesting because it makes up the grid, especially for the last race, which is really cool.
Yeah. Hey, Z.
Hiya.
What do you think?
I think we've got a race and we've got lovely weather.
Yeah. Sure enough.
Turned out nice.
Turned out nice again, hasn't it? Formula E.
Formula E on Gareth Jones on speed.
There's a bunch of lads here all wearing Renault Sport jackets. So let me see what they think about Formula E. Fellas, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Go on, Ed, you're the man.
About the whole race experience?
Yeah, Mitch and Ed.
Ed, my name's Gareth. This is for a car podcast called Gareth Jones on Speed. You're a big race fan, yeah?
Not really.
Not really.
Mitch is probably more than me.
You're an EV fan.
An EV fan?
I work with electric cars, yeah.
Okay, and how are you enjoying the racing?
It's good. I mean, I think qualifying was pretty exciting. I don't think it was really what people were expecting, especially at the front grid.
Do you go to a lot of races?
No, not a huge
No,
amount.
not to be honest. No, we don't.
I mean, you were at the British Grand Prix last year.
Yeah,
weren't
it's
you?
the British Grand Prix last year.
How does this compare to that as a spectacle?
Oh, it's
for you?
completely different, isn't it? It's more of a spectator kind of event and more of a family day. I think that's what they've tried to do with it because it's so new. So they don't know how to position it yet. They got to work on it. But I think next year it'll kind of develop it more. And completely different, isn't it? It's electric versus petrol. And
Are the cars dramatic enough?
they don't look too quick here, but if you're the corners and chicanes and stuff, they're still nippy enough. So
We've said the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's still exciting enough.
I think next year will be interesting when obviously they expand it so that the constructors can kind of build their own cars. That'll be a real kind of make or break, I think.
Let's hope it doesn't break it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grass.
Fellas, thanks for your time.
No
Cheers.
problem.
You're not allowed to lose that place now because it rhymes so nicely. Consternation in the crowd there as Sebastian Buemi spun at turn 2, the championship leader. I don't know how it's going to play out now, but at the point at which he spun, if he'd have finished in that position, Buemi would have been Formula E champion. Does that mean it's going to fall to someone else? Let's see. I'm trying to gauge the reaction of the fans here at the race. I'm enjoying it. So Tycho seems to be enjoying it. But it just needs a bit more oomph. There's a couple of little lads here about 10 years old. They're properly excited. They really are. The cars have just been released from behind the safety car. They were all bunched up whistling away as they came past a moment ago, so the next time they come past they should all be on the same bit of track and we should hear the sound of whistling electric racing cars, hopefully over the sound of the screeches of these two little lads in front of me here. Stand by, here they come. Like Tycho said, you don't get much warning because you can't see that far down the circuit. You don't hear them coming, it's just when they turn up you know they're here. There you go, racing cars and screeching 10-year-olds. So, you know, if you're driving an internal combustion engine car, setting the fastest lap is something that you can do later in the race because your car is lighter.
Yes.
Now in an electric car, the cars don't get any lighter.
I don't think they do. I mean, now they say, I'm suddenly thinking, oh, hang on, you're not carrying any fewer electrons, are you?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not any lighter. No.
Sam Bird just got the fastest lap, there'll be 4 laps to go.
Yeah, which I think means that Nelson Piquet is all of a sudden now no longer set to win the championship because a moment ago he had fastest lap of the race and with his position he was on to take the championship, but he needed that fastest lap. Yeah.
To achieve that. Yeah. It's complex to follow if you haven't got the commentary, which I haven't because I never got on those earpieces. They ran out and the radio frequency is not available to the rest of us. But I'm not complaining, you know, I'm trying to follow it on the screens. But with all these additional points for fastest laps and pole and stuff like that, it does make it more complex, doesn't it?
Yeah, a degree of complexity is good. You know, it's slightly geeky race fans. You know, you like a bit of detail to ferret around in. And, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm pleased to see that there's quite a bit of partisan support for Sam Bird here, who is a great driver. He's naturally quick and right on top of the car in front of him. It's good that drivers who aren't as well known as some F1 drivers are getting support in this because there's no doubting Sam Bird's ability. He's had a bit of a tough season. He's third now, Tycho.
3 laps left.
3 laps left, sorry, I thought you said he's third now. I can't follow it. What do I know about motorsport? There's no doubt that the racing here at Battersea is spot on. We've got lots of cars nose to tail. Not so much swapping positions, but the potential of something happening is great, and often that's enough. Sandberg once again fails to get past the Venturi in front of him. Oh, there was a slight touch there. I said this was going to end in tears. I think there may have just been a weepy eye. No damage to either car as far as I can tell. Good old Sandberg. Proper entertainment. Lots of oohs and ahs from the crowd. You do get to hear that. That's the advantage of this sort of racing. Mind you, it is quiet because all the cars are around the other side of the circuit at the moment. And I'm whispering. This is the last lap now. Hopefully we'll get cheered. Well, from Zog anyway.
Sarazan has no energy.
None. Zero.
Yeah,
really?
0%.
What? Sarazan is on 0%. Come on, guys.
Everybody's a commentator today. That's Buemi trying to go for. It's great to hear the crowd reaction, actually. And it still goes on as the power drops. And the inaugural Formula E champion is Nelsino Piquet. Nelson Piquet Jr. to the rest of us. Well done, Nels. Good lad. Proud to say that I had a chat with him before he won this championship. He'll be very happy with that. As will Emerson Fittipaldi, who's here in support of him, who's supported him as long as I've seen Nelson racing. Good entertainment, Tycho?
Oh my, it was fantastic. They're just saying that Sarazan had no energy at the end of the race, so everyone might get moved up a position. So we'll see how that affects the race.
Oh, I missed that.
Sarazan may be moved up.
Ah, why is that then?
He may be disqualified for having no energy.
Is that what happens if you finish the race with no energy? You're
I'm not sure,
disqualified?
but going into the final corner, he had nothing left. So he was just waiting for it to run out. So all he had to get him across that line was momentum, and another 15 metres, Sandberg would have overtaken him.
What's your name?
Freddie.
Freddie, you should be a commentator.
Yeah.
You understand this sport well. Well done, man. Thank you for explaining that. How old are you, Freddie? How old are you?
10.
And how long have you been a motorsport fan?
Since I was about 3.
All right, good lad. That's the right time to start. As soon as you can recognise a car. Good lad, Freddie. Well done. As the drivers take the applause of the crowds and their warm down lap, for those who've got enough power to do a warm down lap, I'm going to give a big cheer for Alex Fontana when he goes by, bless him. And here he is, Alex! Good lad. Tom Price's helmet, racing again. Some 40 years after, well, 38 years after Tom's death. That's wonderful to see. And I think the lads in the team, from the chaps I was talking to in the Trulli team, are very happy with Alex Fontana's performance. Good lad. Right, there seems to be a ground movement away from the stand.
Shall we wander by the podium? Do you want to?
Yeah, let's go and have a bit of podium action. Good plan, Z.
It's nice and close to the ground, which is it's
Yeah.
not like it's not all
Not
high
up in the air. Yeah. Right, follow the crowd.
Penalty for Stefan Sarazak, which has been converted to a time penalty of 49 seconds, which means Sandberg is Sandberg wins the race from Jerome D'Ambrosio and Monty Val. The promotion of Sebastian Buemi to 5th place.
That was fun. Taco was just saying to me that it was the most exciting race he's seen. It was exciting.
Really, genuinely one of the most exciting all-round races.
Yeah.
You can't stage that kind of excitement on so many levels. It's just brilliant. Really, really good.
Well, as my mate Bobby always says, a motor race is often defined by the last few laps. You don't want an exciting start to a race, you want an exciting end to a race. And at the end of these sorts of races, because they've got a finite amount of energy available, available in the cars. It's all down to how much energy you've got left in the last few laps, which means the racing could all change in the last couple of laps, which makes it exciting. So finite energy electrical powered racing by definition helps the excitement of the race.
Definitely, yeah. We had Buemi on top of Senna, and then we had Bird on top of Sarrazin, and then Sarrazin runs out, and so we have basically three major championship affecting conflicts going on at the same time, with only a short amount of laps, and it just piles up, and you're not waiting just for one car to come round to go, oh, that was quick, or oh, that was exciting, he did that move. It was in the technicality of the race and all these different point factors that add up.
So Sam Bird is the winner?
Yes, fantastic. Yeah.
Perfect result, good lad.
Formula E on Gareth Jones on speed.
I've come up to the podium, which of course in Formula E is in the E-Village, this sort of central gathering point that they have with the children's entertainment and the stunt riders on the motorcycles and stuff, and of course the Formula EJ, the DJ who wears a large polystyrene racing helmet with presumably headphones built in. Looks kind of silly, but that's okay, that's absolutely fine. And what a huge crowd of expectant people who I'm imagining are going to make a huge amount of noise when Sam Bird emerges as the winner of this race. We're watching on the screen, you can see that the drivers are chatting with
very
team members.
Very soon be having the podium underway here, but again a big request please, when the drivers do come out to the podium, please don't surge forward, please stand where you are because it is really quite crushed at the front, so please don't surge forward when we have the drivers coming up onto the rostrum.
Safety announcements, they must be concerned about people's safety. Rather amusingly, Sarah Ferguson appears to be backstage and greeting the drivers. I wonder exactly what capacity she's here. Probably the same as me, ligging. If you don't know the expression ligging, Google it.
Shall we have a podium then? So first of all, let's bring out the representative of our winning team, Virgin Racing, Patrick Curry, who is Sam Bird's race engineer. Congratulations to Patrick. And then in third place, Loic Duval. Congratulations to Loic Duval. Our runner-up once more in the Visa London ePrix, Jerome D'Ambrosio. And then our race winner, Sam Bird.
Tweety Bird comes out onto the podium with a giant Schumacher-esque
so let's pause the national anthem of the winning driver and
happy
team.
as heck. Oh dear, my least favourite anthem in the world. Honestly, I'd like this anthem if it wasn't all about a queen, if it was about the people, or the nation, or the culture, I'd support it, but I'm afraid an anthem that says that we are all subservient to someone who is royally better than us, I can't abide with. If it was Land of Hope and Glory, I'd be happy to sing along, and I'm a Welshman. There you go, this political broadcast brought to you by the Welsh Republican Party. Well done, Sam Bird. Proud to be British.
Once we've had the selfies on the podium, we will move on to the presentations. So first of all, I would like to invite Mark Antipov on behalf of Visa to present the winning team's trophy to Patrick Curry. And then the presentation of the third place trophy to Loic Duval will be made by Jodie Kidd.
Nice to see Jodie Kidd here because she's a proper racer.
Faraz Grossi from Grisogno to present the runners-up trophy to Jerome D'Ambrosio.
I can see Naomi Campbell here standing just behind the podium as well, and of course she's a local girl. She's from Streatham, which is what, 2 miles away from here?
And then I would like to invite Princess Beatrice of York and Sarah, Duchess of York, to present the winning trophy to Sam Bird.
Huge cheer for Sam Bird as he accepts kisses from those royalty types and raises his trophy. Good lad, Sam. Good lad.
Now it's time for some photos.
5,000 people all taking exactly the same photograph. Now the question is, do we crown
and then
the winner
final
of the
time
championship
in the FIA Formula E season? It's time for some champagne.
Not just champagne, but smoke cannons as well. Jody Kidd trying to get out the way of the squirting gentleman. Oh, and the EJ has joined in with his CO2 squirty gun as well. Fair play, it's good entertainment. What fun. That's it then. I'll leave you with the sounds of celebration at Battersea Park. The first motor race to happen in central London since 1970. I think you, listening to this, and my son Tycho and my great friend Zog, and about 29,997 other people witnessed history today. I'm very happy to do so. That's it for Gareth Jones on Speed. See ya. But if you're in an electric car, probably won't hear you. It's alright.
To send us an email, see pictures, get song lyrics, join our Facebook fan site, follow us on Twitter, or to find out about sponsorship opportunities, go to garethjones.tv. Gareth Jones on Speed is made in London by Whizbang.
Warning. Battery low. Please recharge.
Gareth Jones on Speed!